and lacking success navigating the hotel and resorts industry with market segmentation, optimization, and forecasting.
Market segmentation. How do you segment your market?
Divide your potential customers into smaller, more specific groups or customer segments.
Can you tell me how do you properly segment your market?
Here are the 7 steps to properly segment your market.
Step 1. Define your market. Start by defining your market and collect information about your customer base through market research. Dig into the data of your closest competitors to understand their market position and where you can win back traffic share. Take it further by benchmarking against industry standards and conducting a SWOT analysis to fully understand your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Step 2. Analyze existing customer. The process of market segmentation involves a structured audience analysis. The more comprehensive your data, the better you can identify groups and address their needs. So we recommend using various research techniques and types. Learn about demographics, behavior, preferences, and trends. Again, benchmark against the competition. You may stumble upon market segment or niches you didn't consider. Step 3. Create buyer personas. If you already have a buyer persona, skip this step. But it's always good to double check and review. Markets are dynamic, and you need to be aware of changes. Forming several buyer personas can help you clearly define and address different segments. Step 4. Compare and identify gaps, groups, and opportunities. Comparing the data from the first 3 steps help you identify gaps in the market. You can define an audience you previously didn't cover or discover groups with common interests or behaviors that you can target collectively. Map the audience to identify market segmentation opportunities. Here are possible questions to ask. What group of prospects stands out or is particularly active or profitable? Which customer characteristics or qualities do they have in common? What type of customer is not converting? What characterizes them? Do different types of customers take a different consumer journey? Which group of customer is your competition reaching that you aren't? What do they have in common? How strong is my brand loyalty? Step 5. Define and name segments. Based on what the different groups have in common, define your market segments. Set database criteria that let you allocate prospect or segments and track performance. Make sure each target segment is clearly defined so anyone on your team knows exactly what niche you are referring to. Step 6. Research segments separately. That's it. You've segmented your market and can start creating funnels, campaigns, and messages accordingly. Before you jump into any creative activity, use your market research tool again, but this time for each segment individually. Follow these steps. Do a separate conversion analysis to discover divergence and where your funnel may lead. Evaluate engagement metrics for each segment to help refine your segmented marketing strategy based on audience preference or specific needs. One group might be more active on certain marketing channels than others. Conduct competitive analysis for each segment. Not all competitors are equally strong in each target group. This will help you focus on segments with the highest potential or discover strategies that might work well for other companies. Use a benchmarking tool to get a granular view of your site performance across different marketing channels, over time, and within your market. You can see if your performance differs per segment or is relatively stable. The better the results, the stronger the market segment is. Step 7. Test and optimize. Monitor the results of your new segmentation strategy. Test different approaches and keep evaluating for continuous improvement. Optimization. Do you know what is optimization? Optimization means setting the best possible price based on the information available. Can you tell me how do you properly optimize your pricing? Here are the 4 steps to properly optimize your pricing. Step 1. Get to know your customers. Optimizing your pricing is all about the data, both qualitative and quantitative. Hard data is the only way to find out how much customers are willing to pay for your product, and it's the key to breaking free from the guessing cycle. Just as helpful, qualitative data comes from talking to customers. Surveys are great, but they are no match picking up the phone and actually talking to customers, asking them about the topics as their price sensitivity and what features or benefits they are value most in your product. Step 2. Quantify value. Once you've collected all your customer data, it's time to work out what value actually means to your customers. That means working out your value metric. Your value metric is essentially what and how you're changing for your product. Identifying and pricing along your proper value metric is the difference between surviving and thriving. Step 3. Analyze the data. You've collected some customer data and work out what your customers value. Now, it's time to look for patterns in the features, benefits, price points, and value metrics that drive or detract from value. You'll also find out how willing different segments and personas are to pay different prices for your products. Use your findings to create tiers and proper packages for your product or services. Each tier should be priced along your value metric and should align with your different buyer personas so that you're offering the right amount of product or service to each customer segment. Step 4. Adjust pricing and monitor. Even once you've set your prices, you're still not done with price optimization. The value you provide versus your competitors is constantly changing, so you need to be constantly monitoring and adjusting your pricing. Pricing is an ongoing process. You should use your pricing strategies to eliminate as much doubt as possible. Think back to our dartboard example from earlier. Adjusting your pricing helps eliminate sections of the dartboard, focusing in on the right region for your dart to land as you learn more about what works. You need to continually collect data and analyze the value customers are getting from your product to make sure that what you're offering still meets your customers' needs and pricing desires. Make sure you keep a very close eyes on your pricing and see how customers respond. If need be, reevaluate and change things up. But don't be too quick to switch since you might alienate potential or existing customers. Forecasting. Why is forecasting important in hotel and resort industry? Forecasting helps to optimize occupancy and create the most appealing prices so that they can boost their revenue streams and design a profitable business model for the hotel and resorts. Can you tell me the 6 steps in business forecasting? Here are the 6 steps in business forecasting. Step 1. Identify the problem. Defining the problem can seem simple at first because it looks like you are simply asking how will the market react to a new product or how the company's sales will look like in a few months. Even more so if you have a good forecasting tool for small business. However, this step is quite tricky because there aren't actually any tools that can help here. It requires you to know who the forecast is directed to, how the market works, and what your customer base and competition are. You should spend some time evaluating these issues together with the people who are responsible for maintaining databases and gathering the data. Step 2. Collect information. We say information here and not data because data may not be available yet if, for example, the forecast is aimed at a new product. Having said this, the information comes essentially in 2 ways: the knowledge gathered by experts and the actual data. If no data is yet available, the information must come from the judgments made by experts in the area. If the forecast is based solely on judgment and no actual data, we are in the field of qualitative forecasting. If data is available on the subject, a model is used to analyze the data and predict future values. This is called quantitative forecasting. A good example is predicting the sales for a given product in order to replenish stocks accordingly. This can even be done on a daily basis if you use a good forecasting tool for small business. Step 3. Perform a preliminary analysis. An early analysis of the data may tell you right away if the data is usable or not. It may also reveal patterns or trends that can then be helpful, for example, in choosing the model that best fits in. Another thing that can be done here is to check for redundant data and cut it down or make some educated assumptions. By reducing the amount of data to analyze, you can greatly simplify the entire process. Step 4. Choose the forecasting model. Once all the information is collected and treated, you may then choose the model you think will give you the best prediction possible. There is not one single model that works best in all situations. It all depends on the availability and nature of the available data. Step 5. Data analysis. This step is simple. After choosing a suitable model, run the data through it. Step 6. Verify model performance. When the time comes, it is very important to compare your forecast to the actual data. This allows you to evaluate the accuracy of not only the model, but the entire process and change each step accordingly. Hopefully, if you use a good forecasting tool for small business, there won't be much tweaking needed. Thank you so much. Bye!